Welcome to the Movies of the Dam podcast. My name is Kyle Grant, and I'm sitting here with my friend and published horror author, John Hunt. If you enjoy what you hear here today, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, check out our Facebook page, and follow us on both Instagram and Twitter, @DamnMovies. Email us any questions, comments, and suggestions to moviesofthedamned@gmail.com. For further details on John's published works, please visit his blog, johnhuntfiction.wordpress.com. Today, we'll be discussing Nacho Vigalondo's 2014 film, Open Windows. The movie is presented to the viewer through open windows on a laptop and follows Nick Chambers, played by Elijah Wood, who's won a contest to meet his favorite actress, Jill Goddard. He is soon crushed to learn from her thought-to-be manager, Cord, that she has canceled the meeting. Cord then convinces him to begin spying on Jill through hacking and high-end surveillance equipment. Through encouragement, manipulation, and blackmailing, Cord then forces Nick into compliance following his every instruction. This then helps Cord abduct Jill. However, with the help of a hacker group believing him to be the master hacker Nevada, Nick is able to locate Cord. He gives chase, but eventually gets into a car crash and Cord shoots him. It's then revealed that Cord also killed Nevada. Jill soon tricks Cord, though, and flees. It's also revealed that Nevada is actually still alive and has been impersonating Nick the entire time, with the whole scenario being an operation designed to flush out Cord. Cord is then killed in an explosion as Nevada and Jill escape. Just to let everyone know, this film was suggested to us over Twitter from I Like Rice through handle @ILikeRice5 in response to episode 46 of the Movies of the Dam podcast on Sinister. In that episode, we discussed loving all the movies from Blumhouse and disliking movies from SpectreVision. I Like Rice thought Open Windows from SpectreVision was pretty good and suggested we give it a try, so that's how we got here today. John, opening thoughts on the movie?
Sure, but first of all, did this movie change your mind about SpectreVision? In a general way, because we'll get into details later.
I liked it better than Mandy and A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night, but I didn't love this movie.
Okay, that's fair.
So it wasn't like, oh yeah, I'll give it SpectreVision another chance. It's like, oh, SpectreVision can make something that isn't complete and utter garbage, but it was different.
Complete and utter garbage. You're pretty harsh on those other two
films.
films.
They were two of the worst movies I've ever seen. But this wasn't one of the worst movies. Yeah, this wasn't one of the worst ever, but it has some issues that we'll get into.
Okay. That being said, I did enjoy this movie, but it's not something I would have watched to completion if I wasn't doing the podcast, right? So maybe enjoy is a wrong word then. I was indifferent to this movie, right?
Yeah, like
there's some interesting scenes, there's some interesting plot lines, but I didn't think they were polished well enough for me to continue having interest in it. I have a short attention span for movies that just don't hit the mark in terms of presentation nowadays. I'll be watching something, I'm like, no, I'm not doing it, and I try to give a movie a half hour. If you can get me in a half hour, I'll watch the rest of you, right?
And it's interesting that you say that half an hour mark, because I honestly really liked the first half hour of this movie. Mm-hmm. I thought it was very interesting. I loved how it was presented to the viewer. Just that kind of everything on the screen was what the laptop screen looked like. So you could kind of see the windows of the webcams and of different videos that were being pulled up and stuff like that. It kind of reminded me of another horror movie. Do you ever see, I think it was called Unfriended?
Or I haven't actually seen that one.
So that was very similar, where a bunch of teenagers were kind of in a group chat and you could see all their cameras and type of thing. So similar presentation to it in this way. And so I thought that was cool. And Elijah Wood is kind of playing this cool blogger character where he runs this website about his favorite actress and he wins a contest to go and meet her. And I'm like, oh, this is all cool. And then kind of once you pass that first half an hour, things got complicated. Things got confusing. There's all these different twists and turns, and I found it almost a little hard to follow. It was almost a little over my head a little bit.
Well, and that would be a presentation problem.
Yeah.
Right? For sure. And that's what I was talking about with presentation problem. Like, I wouldn't have made it all the way through this movie if I wasn't watching I wasn't watching it for this podcast.
Yeah, because I'm like, who are these hacker guys? What is this Nevada thing? And then like some people are getting killed and then they're not killed and then there's body doubles and it's just like it got confusing to me.
Yes, and not in a good way.
No, it wasn't
Right?
like, oh, that was clever. It's just like
Yeah.
throwing you like curveballs out of nowhere that you'd have no way of kind of predicting or guessing.
That's what I didn't like, right? So I like clever films. I like a clever film when, especially when you get to the end, and everything added up, but you still didn't see it, right? So it's like you get to the end and you didn't predict the end, and it's like
But you could see how it would be possible to predict
absolutely right. So everything was laid out perfectly. It's just you didn't pick them up, right? So or some pieces you picked up, others you didn't. So you came to the wrong conclusion, but it was all there. If it was your fault that you weren't paying attention, and that's why you didn't get the ending. I like those ones because they're clever and they're done in a very subtle way, and they draw you along and they're interesting throughout the whole film. This one you could not predict the ending.
it. No, there's
no way.
There's no way you could.
And the only hint that they gave you about this weird Nevada hacker wearing Elijah Wood's face thing, and it's not even a good hint, but there's only one hint in there, is that the CD that was in the car. They kept making a point about the CD, the music that was in the car.
Okay.
Elijah Wood said it wasn't his CD, and Cord, the bad
Cord,
guy,
the guy who pretended to be the manager at the start.
Yeah, so the Cord guy said that's a terrible CD, and both of them were in the car. Elijah was in the car, and Cord was in the car. Both are saying it wasn't their CD.
Interesting. Okay,
That's the only thing that would that.
and I remember that now, but I didn't like pick up on that as I was watching the movie.
Well, I was wondering why they're making a point. Why do they care about the CD so much? Like, who cares? And they're going out of their way to make a point about the CD.
Yeah.
But that was the only clue to that, right? And the shooting in Nevada, you didn't really see a lot of blood or anything like that when he got shot. But at the same time, there's no other violence in this film that would allow you to draw a comparison.
Yeah,
right?
it wasn't like there was a ton of gore in other aspects and then no gore in this scene.
Yeah, or like someone else was shot earlier in the film and blood exploded everywhere, and then this guy was shot and there was no blood. There's no comparison there, so there's no way for you to even figure out that this guy wasn't killed.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what I didn't like. I didn't like the breadcrumbs that led you into a wall. Right, because there's no door. There's nowhere to go through.
Like the only other thing this movie needed is I thought they were about to say like someone was going to wake up in bed and be like, it was all a dream, right? Like,
oh yeah, or Scooby-Doo was going to come out of the corner.
yeah,
and
like
go,
it was just like it got ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like for the last half to the last third of the movie was just like, this is getting wild.
It was weird. Like I wouldn't know. Because a lot of movies get ridiculous, but it's like it's how they get ridiculous that matters, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we watch a lot of films that are. Like The Lost Boys is pretty ridiculous, but it was fun, and how it got ridiculous was fun, right? So
yeah, but it didn't have like, it's like, and here's the twist, and then another twist, and then another twist,
okay, yeah,
and then
so
another twist.
That wouldn't be a good comparison, but so yeah, so the presentation was key in this one, and I think they dropped the ball on that one for sure in many aspects. So at the very start, though, you kind of knew that the contest wasn't real. So I knew something was coming along with that.
Okay, so you're like, oh, there's going to be something to this.
Well, because when they're talking about the contest, and the actor, what was her name again?
Oh, Jill Goddard?
Yeah, Jill. Oh, yeah, Jill Goddard. So when they're talking about, when you see her and they're doing all the filming and stuff like that, she doesn't mention this contest once.
Yeah, so you'd think if like at this press conference where they're promoting the movie, she'd be talking about, oh, and I'm super excited to win I'm super excited to meet my number one fan who won this big contest, right? Like you want to promote these things.
Yeah, or not even that. Like even when she was talking to the other people about before she even got to the press conference and she's not even on stage yet, she's talking about what she's going to do after. She said she's going to meet her husband's agent? Who's the agent guy that she's going to go meet this other guy
Yeah.
after the press conference and doesn't mention the contest at all.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, she doesn't know of this contest, so clearly it's fake.
Yeah.
Right. So for me, that like at the beginning, I was like, okay, well, the contest is not real, and so something else is going on. I thought initially Elijah Wood was going to be a weird creeper,
Oh.
right? So, but when it showed up that, and I had no other, there's no real reason for me to think that. It's just when you hear superfan in a movie, you think the superfan is the creeper.
Yeah, like
right?
a little bit of a stalker or
Yeah,
something.
that's what you think. Well, that's what I thought, anyways. So that's what I thought going in, and then when I see her going to the conference and not mentioning this contest that he's so excited to win, I'm like, okay, well, it's not real. So I knew something was weird going on with that. But but after that, the way it accelerated, like, is this what this guy would do? Like, I don't even, like, would anyone do this?
And I was just going to bring that point up too, right? Because you get to kind of know Elijah Wood's character, Nick, right away. And he seems like he's kind of like a mild-mannered person, like kind of almost a little bit of a do-gooder, like never broken the law, not a criminal, just kind of...
He seems like a genuinely nice dude.
Yeah, just a recluse. He really likes this actress, so he runs a blog about her.
Yeah.
And then right away, Cord convinces him to set up camera equipment to spy on Jill and her agent, with the knowing that she was probably going back there to sleep with him.
Yeah.
And it's like, what? You wouldn't do that.
No, and here's another thing that was before that, and this is what made that scene, what you're talking about, even more less believable, less credible. So Cord has control of the cameras at the press conference, and he zooms in from a top view on Jill's breasts.
Yeah, on her
right?
cleavage, yeah.
Yeah, on her cleavage. And you could see how uncomfortable Elijah Wood was with that.
Good point.
Right? About how sneaky and how voyeuristic that angle was, and he was visibly uncomfortable in that scene. So, and then like within minutes, he's like setting up cameras to spy on her, might having sex. Like, I don't find that believable at all.
Neither do I. And of course, he's upset that he's traveled all this way, which he mentioned a couple times, and he doesn't get to meet her and everything like that. But you aren't gonna. I don't believe he was upset or scummy enough to then set up these cameras for the voyeurism.
No, immediately devolve into this. No, he was.
And so he was being pressured and kind of manipulated. But at that point, Cord really didn't have anything on him. So it wasn't like he was being blackmailed.
No, like, you know what you would do? Close the computer.
Yeah, I'd be like, hey, things are getting weird here, right?
Yeah, close the computer, turn it off, do whatever, right? Like,
And
you
so-
don't know at this time that he's a super hacker and can get into your phone or whatever he wants to do.
Yeah,
You don't
yeah.
know any of that. All you know is there's this weird guy on your computer wanting you to do some creepy stuff to an actor that you have a blog about. Like,
and who you seem to generally like. And,
Yeah,
and I
he's-
didn't get the impression that this blog was like one of those like trashy tabloid ones where it's all
No.
about trying to find like risque pictures or things like that.
it's more like celebrating her work and
Yeah,
you
like
know,
he generally
and her
loved
as a
her.
person. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So I thought that character jump was not believable.
Yeah, and so I'm so glad you're on the same page as me with this one, because I was really thinking the same thing. Like, not only would he not do these things, that you enter into criminality there when you're setting up this camera into
Yeah.
someone's hotel room where you believe there's going to be sexual activity, but then just to listen to him in the first place.
I know.
And so I had an issue with that kind of from the start. But then after the camera was set up and then Cord had some dirt on him, then I could kind of get behind him listening to some other stuff as it starts to accelerate from there. But that first like stepping stone, I didn't see as plausible.
I didn't see it either, and I don't even see the further ones even as really plausible, right? So it's more like, you know, if this guy has done this and is kind of blackmailing you, and you know that you set up cameras or whatever. I don't even know what he was threatening him with, that you got this cameras or the cleavage, or I don't even know.
Yeah.
You're threatening him, like, so this guy's contacted you and set this up, and now he's threatening to, you know, get you to the, you know, call the cops on you or whatever the case may be for whatever criminal offense that they're imagining here, right? You know, as a reasonably intelligent person, that to give in is going to get worse.
Oh, it always gets
Right?
worse.
So-
whenever you're being blackmailed, you can't start doing what the person says, or else it always gets worse.
Right? That's like one of the main things about the FBI has in negotiations.
Yeah, exactly.
Do not give them what they want.
Yeah.
Right? And there's a reason for that, right? So what's the worst that would have happened to him then, right? Nothing.
Yeah.
He would have said to the police, this is what happened. Here, look at my computer. Oh, and so that the super hacker erases whatever steps are on it. So what? Look, I'm telling you that's real. Okay, now what? Now what do we do? How do you even track that he did these things?
Yeah,
It's
no.
stupid, right?
No.
And then he convinces the kid to taser this guy walking into his room.
And again, misuse of a taser. A taser does not make you go unconscious.
No, it does not. No, it does not.
Yeah.
Oh wait, the stun. There are some stun ones that do that.
Oh, really? Well,
There are.
I think did they call it a taser? I can't even remember.
I don't even know. So,
But just to pause for 1 second.
Yeah.
You got to explain to me what happened before this guy came to the room. So, the camera equipment is set up. The actress comes back, and I think it's her agent actually, and they're kind of talking. There's no sexual activity. She ends up leaving,
Mhm.
and then Cord makes it so that his hotel room lights up.
Yeah.
So that the agent then sees that this camera's set up. Then I get confused.
Okay.
So the agent then calls to the front desk.
To court. Yeah.
Oh, so it's Cord who intercepts the call.
Yeah.
Okay. And Cord then pretends to be the bellman or whatever
Yeah.
and says, "Oh, that room's unoccupied. Do
Yeah.
you want to go up and check it?"
Yeah.
How does he get the key?
So the person came up with them. Remember, the person with the key card came up with them.
Who?
I don't even know.
See,
But that whole sequence was stupid to me too.
No, but that's where I'm confused. So was he actually talking with the bellman or was he talking with Cord? Because if he was talking with Cord, how did they get the key?
So Cord says something later on about saying, that's the room, like I set up the room number and all that type of stuff, right? It's like, because it wasn't unoccupied. So
Yeah.
Cord's the one that put in the computer that it wasn't occupied.
Okay.
So for the person at the front desk. But here's my question. Yes. So Cord intercepted the call, but he wasn't talking to Cord, but Cord made the room appear as though it was unoccupied through
okay.
the computer system. But can you name any hotel that would say, "Hey, yeah, that room's empty. Do you want to come check it out?"
And we're not going to go with you. We're just going to give you a key to a random room. It doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't make sense either. It wouldn't happen. It
If
just wouldn't
anything,
happen.
it's like, hey, I see someone in this room who seems to have a camera set up and watching me. We're sending security up right away, sir.
Yeah.
We're not going to be like, yeah, go check it out yourself and report back to me, right?
Yeah, right. Look at the liability there.
Exactly.
Oh wait, if there's really a creepy guy doing that, I'm gonna send a guest to go check it out.
The one who's being watched.
Yeah,
They're watching. We're
gonna
gonna
have
send
them
you up there.
investigate it. Yeah, no.
Yeah, so things just got like weird at that point, right? And so
and they got more and more weird, really.
yeah, I don't know, like, but I was interested. I was like, okay, let's see where this goes. I'll get past these opening things.
Yeah,
But then, as I said, it's just like the words that keep popping into my head, and you're gonna hear me say it a million times in this episode: confusing, complicated, just a weird, winding, bumpy, crazy storyline that just, in the end, doesn't make a ton of sense throughout.
Well, even in the end, I didn't really. It's one of those things where it's like, okay, what was the point of this film? Can you figure out or what was it trying to accomplish?
In my mind,
Yes.
they came up, hey, it would be cool to make a movie where the entire presentation to the viewer is through a computer screen. And obviously, since it's through a computer screen, the next logical step is let's involve some hackers. And so they built a story off of that.
Okay.
So that's just my guess. Me thinking out loud.
Okay. So I'm just trying to figure out what type of product did they want to put out here, right? So they obviously want to put something out like a thriller type of movie with engaging the audience and trying to figure out the ending.
And turned into an action movie at one point?
Well, yes
like a
and no.
Fast and the Furious type thing?
Yes and no, because most thrillers do have some sort of action sequences in them just to up the tension, usually near the end.
Yeah.
But so that's not my thing. So it's just like they're trying to engage the audience into playing in their whodunit or what's going on type of scenario that they've created through the laptop imagery, right? And like I said, it comes back to what we talked about at the beginning. In order to engage the audience and to have them want to follow along, you have to make it. It doesn't have to be clear because you obviously want to have some sort of obfuscation. So when you get to the end, you don't want to be watching 10 minutes in and understand that this is what the ending is going to be. So I get that, but you got to make it so like the audience can follow along.
Yeah, exactly. I was just going to say, it doesn't have to be clear, but you shouldn't have someone like me sitting here and be like, what is happening right now?
Yes. So, and that's the whole part. Like when they introduced the Trios hacker, right? So I know why they did it. right? It makes sense why they did it, but it's still kind of stupid, right? So because Elijah Wood's not a hacker,
Yeah.
so he needed someone to help him fight back.
But then that
So-
didn't make sense either, though,
No.
John. These 3 hackers then show up on his computer screen, which is being monitored by Cord, but yet Cord can't see them. Isn't Cord listening in the entire time?
See, I don't even know how that would work. So I think that the hackers were saying they're the second best hackers in the world, and so they're keeping their communication with him secret by their super hacking powers.
And they just got lucky that Cord never came back to talk to them while the hackers were there.
I don't even know, because like at one point the hackers paused, like muted,
Yeah.
right? Because obviously Cord could hear them. So I don't even know what the capabilities of this was, right? So like, could Cord hear them? Could Cord see what was going on the other guy's screen? Because he was certainly controlling the other guy's screen and adding images to the other guy's screen, like to Elijah Wood's screen.
Yeah.
Like, so what was the level of control here? Why could he see all that, but he couldn't see what these Trials guys were doing? Like, I don't know. And they didn't even and maybe they did explain it, but if they did explain it, it was very quick and I didn't hear it.
And this is just so funny. So, John, as you're just talking here, and it's in my head, I'm just like, this conversation is confusing. And so for like people who haven't seen this movie and are just listening to this podcast, some of you are going to be at home being like, what are these guys talking about? And it's like, all we can say is, we get it. That's the same feeling I had when I was watching the movie.
But if you want to know exactly what the movie's about, then you should, like, at the beginning, Kyle's summary was...
It's always a spoiler at the summary. Anyone who's ever
Yeah.
listened to an episode knows that.
Yeah, so, but that's exactly what the movie's about. So now we're talking about how did we get there? How did we get the summary, right? And the summary, even though it was clear and concise, how we got there was not. The movie was
No, it wasn't.
No, it was not. And even in the end, I'm still weird about it, right? Like,
Yeah, Jill just like, it seems like she falls in love with this Nevada dude.
yeah, I don't even know, right? I just want to disappear now. Cool. What? Why? Right? This should, like, I don't even know.
And she was in a relationship. Well, she was officially dating the director, but yet she was having this affair with her agent.
Even then, like,
So that we're screw both these guys. Now I'm with you, Nevada, who I've just met.
I don't even, like, it seemed like there's some sort of romantic thing going on at the end, but I don't even, once again, that wasn't even clear to me.
No.
I mean, it was like here's an actor who's struggling to get out of the B movies that she's been in for a while, and now is launched in the spotlight because she's been kidnapped and had all this weird stuff done to her, and now she wants to get out of the spotlight as an actor. Is that a good idea?
Yeah.
I don't even know.
And where were they at the end? They're in like a secret lair
Yeah, they're in Nevada's secret lair.
that's
don't know.
underneath the factory that blows up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, like, and then they filmed an explosion across town for another reason. Like, I don't even know. It's so weird, man.
Very, very confusing, very complicated. And honestly, I think that's why I got such poor reviews. So Rotten Tomatoes critic score 40,
Yeah.
audience score 20.
Oh my God.
Now obviously there probably is audience scores lower than that, but it's the lowest one I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's pretty low.
And I bet you people just had the same viewpoint that I did and that you're having, and that it's just like confusing, it's complicated.
But I'll go back to it. It's not a terrible movie.
No, it's not. It's not.
No.
It's better than those other Spectre Vision pieces.
I don't know. I like The Girl Who Walked Home at Night better.
Yeah, weird. Couldn't find anything on the budget. Couldn't find anything on box office stuff or anything like that. If you want to check it out on Shudder, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that'd be the spot to watch it. And again,
For sure.
we've talked about this in previous episodes. If you're a horror movie fan, Shudder is worth investing in. They got a ton of great titles out there.
Yeah. And just to be upfront, they're not sponsoring us or anything like that.
Oh,
we
no.
just
We wish they were sponsoring
yes,
us.
we do. Hey, Shudder, sponsor us.
Yeah.
But, hey,
But no, it was a service that, as we talked about in the past, we picked up once we started doing this podcast, just to kind of expand the different titles that we could do.
yeah,
And,
just get more access to more movies. That's all.
yeah, and the other cool thing is they have not only a mix of newer movies but also older ones out there, which I thought was very cool.
Yeah, there's some good ones by Dario Argento. Like, just they have some good stuff on there. So it's well worth the investment. It's like fairly economical.
Definitely.
So
Going back to this movie, And as you said, it's not a terrible movie. I honestly think I would probably be around where the critics are. If I had to personally score this out of 100, I'd probably be in like the 30s to 40 range.
I think that's a fair one.
So yeah, you would give it a thumbs down as well then?
Yeah, I wouldn't I wouldn't watch this again. I wouldn't recommend it to anyone. Definitely a thumbs down.
Yeah, the only reason I would recommend it to someone is if I'd be like, hey, this movie's kind of presented in a bit of a unique way. Check it out, but just know that it gets difficult to follow.
Yeah, I don't know, because I like Elijah Wood, man.
I was just about to say the one thing that I didn't have an issue with in this movie was the acting.
Yeah.
I thought the acting was very good.
It was all good. Like Jill Goddard did a great job. Like everyone did a great job. Acting was very good, actually, for sure.
And I like Elijah Wood too. I've always really enjoyed his movies. I'm just upset that he's part of this Spectre Vision production company now.
Yeah.
Well, buddy, anything else to add on this one?
No, not really.
Yeah. Well, folks, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Check out our Facebook page and follow us on both Twitter and Instagram @DamnMovies. We want to hear what you thought of today's podcast and any suggestions you have, especially in terms of what movies you'd like us to discuss next. Send us an email to moviesofthedamned@gmail.com. Please also check out John's full-length novels. His first 3 novels, Dollhouse and The Tracker, are Amazon bestsellers, and his new novella Balance is also available on Amazon. You can pre-order John's newest full-length novel, Off the Grid, right now at blackrosewriting.com. For further details on John's other published works, please visit his blog, johnhuntfiction.wordpress.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, so if any of you are residents of the city of Guelph in Ontario, Canada, I am doing a book signing at the Bookshelf, which is in downtown Guelph, 41 Quebec Street. And that'll be on October 25th. It's a Friday evening, 7 p.m. I'll have copies of The Tracker, Dollhouse, and my newest book, Off the Grid, available for purchase and for me to sign. And if you want to meet me, I'll be there. So, yeah, anyways, have a great week and be kind, everyone.